I don't mean that. I mean, and this, yeah.
You didn't know that.
Oh, I knew that. No, I meant we never wanted to suggest that this man who was playing a supermarket manager was also a great singer.
Yeah.
After the first day of shooting, it hadn't worked out. We saw he wasn't an actor. We would have said, play the guitar a little.
Yeah, right. Come in and just sing a little song.
Yeah, right.
Say something nice for the kiddies. Why'd you want to make a movie? That takes a big chance. You know, when your career is sailing and flying.
Yeah, you could have lost up a whole beautiful career.
Without a problem in the world, I'm sure. I'd like to be an actor. I would like to extend what I do in regards to communicating with people to that particular format. You know, it seems to me to be kind of a natural evolvement if you can continue to grow, and I feel that that's the case. I feel very weak in the movie, quite frankly, and I really learned a lot, and there's so many things that I see. I've been unable really to watch it objectively yet. But I would like to do more films. I want to work more with Carl, that's for sure. I'd like to work with you again. It was such a treat. See, see, I've been here before, folks. This is, you know.
No, and they carried that set all the way across town. It was really funny.
Now, I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
This is a little interesting thing that has to do with television, folks. Television and movies are different groups of people, the
different unions.
Unions. So what we wanted to do was to come over here and film the show, right? That would have been so much easier, but you can't do that. We had to take this whole set and cart it over to Warner Brothers and set it up over there and do the show over there, and then they had to bring a
crew. I had a bad night the night before, and he was on his way to the studio, and he saw them carting the set, across town. No, wait, hey, we got him. Goes back, wants to report a theft of a set.
Or either that, or when they cancel people, they cancel you without a goodbye. Just take your set away.
That's something you didn't know. It was out longer than he thought.
What? To the car?
Well, I was very excited. We had been looking at scripts. People had been sending us scripts for quite a few years, and Jerry and I were kind of looking at it from the point of view that we wanted to approach it as we had television. When we can do it and be in control and get the people that we want to work with, then we'd like to do a film. And when we're sure that everything is just feels right for us. And this was the first script that we got a hold of that just, I loved it. I loved the story. I love what it has to say. I love so much of those little things that I think are in the film that to me are really vocalizations of the truth, some of the truth that I know, and I think that it's presented in a way that people will really be able to get in touch with without pushing it on them or making a big deal. I think that we've shared a little of the truth with them.
Exactly, and we all ask so many questions today. Does God live and all that? And I don't want to tip any of the story, but it is something that is in our minds with all the turmoil that we're subjected to all the time. To know, that this kind of ordinary, everyday fella can...
And the wonderful thing about George, you really get the feeling through the progression of the movie that this is actually God, and he has taken this particular form to come down to be able to relate to somebody, But I agree with Carl also. I think George is God. I think Carl is God. I think that you are, and I am, and all of these people.
We all have a little bit of it in us. Were you nervous about working with a great singer like George Burns?
I was glad that I didn't have to sing following, yes.
That's right.
I'll tell you, after the very first day, I was not nervous after that.
No. You obviously weren't. It was, it's the very touching moment when God finally thinks that you've got it in hand. You've just spread it. And the parting, when he says goodbye, that was so dear. I had a lump in my throat, size of a cantaloupe. It was so sweet. The way I won't tell, but he'd really gotten himself up for another.
It's a wonderful movie. Carl, I'm so proud to be part of that.
I am too.
And to share that with you, Dinah.
Oh, what a treat.
I thank you both. It was...
Did John come to you often for advice about acting?
Because John did a very interesting thing. Before the picture started, he read the script, and he must have seen something in it that was a challenge, and he must have been a little frightened by it, because I don't think John is afraid to do anything. He wrestles bear without... and wrestles a bear. I don't mean he wrestles bear. We saw one of the...
On occasion, Carl.
But not with bears.
Right.
With people, you might wrestle bear. But in one of your specials, he wrestled a bear. He goes down one of the biggest slopes in Aspen, unafraid. He's a fearless man. And he called me right before the picture started, and he said, is there any place I can get some little acting pointers? And one of the actors in our picture, Jeff Corey, who plays the rabbi, John, and he got together for a couple of weeks right before the picture just to find out what acting is and make himself comfortable with it, which I think is marvelous, to prepare himself even that little.
Oh, I think
That was wonderful. I'd really like to acknowledge Jeff, too. He did. It was incredible to me because what happened is that all of a sudden a script and a character who was a name on a script with lines following it, it got to be more than that. It got to be a very three-dimensional thing. And it was just a few insights that he gave me that I think really allowed me to do the job. I think without his help...
But, John, how would you do this? In a class with Jeff or in terms of...
No, I spent time with him, just he and I.
Yeah. Analyzing where you were
talking about the role and talking about acting and doing some exercises that he gave me to practice making it three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty weird seeing your face up there like that, you know, and
1,000 times bigger than life.
yeah, it was very interesting. I saw a couple of the dailies, I think they're called, but I also tried to stay away from those so that I didn't get caught up in how I looked or what I was doing, you know, and just to follow Carl each day. But the nicest thing, one of the nicest experiences that I've had in a long time, we got a copy of the film a little early, a couple of weeks ago, and I rented a theater in Aspen and showed it to all of my friends there.
Oh.
And I'm sure it's the hardest audience that I'm ever going to face, is this group of people there. And like, the people in Aspen aren't really into GP pictures. You know what I mean? And so I was very interested in how they were going to react to this particular film, aside from the fact that I was in it. And it was absolutely wonderful to me because everybody that was there were laughs, there were guffaws, there was applause at the end of the film. And I think the thing that was most meaningful to me is that the people who know me were able to get past seeing me up there and start seeing Jerry Landers. So I feel that I succeeded in my job.
It's that same kind of thing you're pulling for him like you did for Rocky. You know, in a way, it's that same kind of battle against disbelief and cynicism. And how did Annie like it?
Annie loves it. She absolutely loves it.
Was she nervous for you?
I think she was more nervous than I was, yes.
Good Lord.
You know, when you finish the film, excuse me, Carl.
No, go ahead.
When you finish the film, and Carl and I were discussing this the other night, it's like when you finish writing a song, when the song is complete, you know it, and then you can let it go, and it belongs to everybody, whoever gets something out of the song. And the same thing occurs with any piece of work, I think, that you do. And with the film, when we completed the film, I really felt that I'd done as good as I could do. I hadn't held back anything, and whatever mistakes I made were mistakes that I made, and what was good, and it was there. And the film is a total success for me, and was from the end of last January when I finished my part of it. And so now it's just a real pleasure to watch and to enjoy sharing that finished product.
See other people open to it.
With people out there, yeah. But Annie was...
I was going to say about Annie, I never saw a reaction like that. Sometimes you wait for a reaction after a motion picture. They'll either come up to you, and if people don't like it, they may even say, hey, you did some job there, or something. Or we're having lunch. Let's talk about it.
You talk about the amount of time that you have to spend away. When you think about it, I don't think people realize what a terrible chore that is. Once you're there and the performance is great, but tearing yourself away from your life. And every song, I was going through some of the songs of yours that we do and that I adore. So many of them have to do with travel, like Country Roads, Take Me Home, Fly Away, Looking for Space.
Goodbye Again,
Goodbye
Leaving
Again,
on a Jet Plane.
Leaving on a Jet Plane.
Follow Me.
Follow Me. But they're all about soaring, flying, leaving. There's a kind of, why? Have you ever thought about it?
Well, I don't know. I feel a very strong connection. You know, the Indian people say that each human being has some connection with something else of the earth, and I have a very strong connection with eagles, I guess. I want to fly like an eagle, and I feel that I do sometimes.
Yeah.
And
I got to show that.
Wait a second. He's talking about Indians, which is a very poetic thing, but realistically and psychologically, your father is one of the greatest flyers in the world.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And you like your father.
Right. My father is a jet pilot. He was in the Air Force for 27 years, actually. And as a matter of fact, he holds 3 world records in military aircraft that are still standing.
Yeah.
So he's the best.
Yeah.
The absolute best.
Now, don't you think there's some reason that you may want to fly?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
But it has to do, I mean, the
I know.
symbolism of your thinking of your father as gloriously as an eagle.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that he big influence on your life, I'm sure.
Well, I've always loved, I loved climbing. When I was a young child, my dad used to take me out in the mountains, and he and my younger brother would walk around while a friend of mine and I would climb the highest peak that we could find around there.
Yeah.
And used to terrify my mother, who doesn't enjoy heights that much anyway, and still has a difficult time when she comes to visit us in Aspen.
Yeah.
But there was always, the mountains have always been a part of my life. I'm called to the mountains. I'm called to the sky. I'm called, I want to go into space. I want to dance across the mountains on the moon.
Yeah, I sense that in you. I mean, that really is remarkable. Some of us are called
And the interesting contradiction to me, though, is what you say. I have this incredibly strong feeling of family that comes not only from my family, but my experience of my mother's family and my father's family. My father was in a family of 11 children, of which he was the oldest. And a wonderful, close-knit family that grew up on a farm during the years of the Depression and had an incredibly difficult existence. And within that existence, there was so much joy and aliveness in that family, and you're so aware of it that I'm sure that my experience of them has so much to do with the feelings that I have now. And one of the things that I think is suffering in society today that I would really like to be able to perhaps transform to some degree, if my music could have any effect on that, is this sense of family. To know that who you are is okay, and there are people around you who love you and who, in giving you life, have given you so much more just in the act of letting you be, giving you the opportunity to be. And it's a wonderful thing that seems to be deteriorating to me sometimes.
That is kind of frightening when you realize that the family structure is a thing on which our entire civilization is based, and we take it lightly.
Absolutely. Society, the city, the structure, that is an unnatural, and there's another word that I can't think of. Anyway, the family is a natural, organic model.
Right.
This is the imitation of that. But everything occurs within the family. We talked about this just a few nights ago. Everything occurs in the family to prepare you to deal with it out here in the real world. If you will let it be there and learn from it and grow through the things
And
that come up.
respect it.
Yeah.
Know it for what it is.
And be appreciative. Celebrate.
Be right back. Co-stars in my movie with John Denver and Carl Reiner. He's been working on a special. It's going to air November the 23rd on CBS. Would you like to introduce him?
Ladies and gentlemen, God.
They all want to be saved.
Yeah.
That's what
Dinah, you look great.
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah,
So do
You
you.
always look great. Last time I saw you was about 15 minutes ago in the dressing room. And you haven't changed.
No. Oh,
He wants to fly like an eagle, and I walk like a turtle.
Were you surprised when they offered you the role of God?
I pretty near turned it down. I thought I was a little too old for the part.
Well, you had to work without your security blanket.
Oh, without my cigar, yeah.
I know it.
Well, it isn't hard to work without a cigar. The only reason I smoke a cigar, I never know what to do with my left hand.
You know what to do with your left hand?
Yeah, my right hand is fine.
Yeah.
See, I can use it. This is nothing. Test. Nothing. I don't know what to do with it. So there it is.
Well, you can put it on the other one and
I tried it, but
let it get lessons.
But I was young, but now it's so heavy.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, you know you have to do a lot of
Yeah, but the nice thing about playing God was that you can't be criticized. Unless you hear some few words from Danny Thomas.
With the pipeline. That's right.
I know
There's a
Danny
few people
Thomas. He probably has them over for dinner every Friday night. That's
Saturday.
Danny and God sitting there for dinner, and Charlton Heston walks in. They both have to stand up.
But, you know, when you prepare for a role, actors have to call on previous experience and to do a little research. How do you research playing God?
Well, I've been with a lot of gods, with Jack Benny.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of nice people. Well, that's what you said is absolutely right. We're all God. We all have a piece of God in us.
Yeah.
Anybody can be God, you know.
Can I say something?
Sure.
In George Burns, there is God as far as I'm concerned. There is in all of us. But there's a very special one in George. Now, when he first came to the movie, he didn't feel he was God. The first day of shooting, he felt he should do more than George Burns, and we all wanted George Burns. So the first take was not quite what we wanted. So the only direction I gave George in the whole picture, one direction. I said, George, before this next take, would you please sing a little of the Red Rose Rag? And he sang just a little bit of it, and just as he got to a point, into the chorus, I said, roll camera, hit it, and that's what we did.
That's it.
You want to show him the
Do the Red Rose Rag.
I didn't mean to do that if you're not prepared. But he was prepared with a cappella.
I'm always prepared to do Red Rose Rag. I mean, you know, I don't know where I'm going, but when in vaudeville, there comes a time when you don't do well. You know, actors used to carry their pictures, and then
And the biography.
well, you'd put the pictures out front, and if the manager didn't like your act, he'd knock on the door and give you back your pictures, and you were canceled. And that's the same thing with life. When you're ready to go, they give you back your pictures. But I'm not just going to take my pictures with me. I'm taking my music, too. I don't know where I'm going, but I wanted my key.
You're never going to go.
Well, I'll be here for a long time.
Darn right.
You see, I can't go because I'm booked.
Simple as that. This past year, on George's 81st birthday, we threw a little birthday party for him, and it was a wonderful party. And he said that when I'm 81, he'll throw a party for me. So.
I believe it, too.
You see, in the first place, I can't get old anymore because I am. See, that's for young people.
That's right.
The young people can get old, but not me. And the most important thing about old age is to get out of bed.
Make it, yeah.
Very important to have something that'll get you out. I can't make any money in bed anyway. I'm not good in bed.
I don't believe it.
I know it's a disappointment to you, but... Well, let me tell you, when I was married to Gracie, we were married for 38 years. Every night when we'd go to sleep, I'd sing her 3 or 4 songs until she fell asleep. Well, I found out after you're married for 38 years, it's much easier to sing.
Mind if I take notes?
Yeah. It's important, yeah, talk
Well,
to
it's
Annie.
true. Gracie never married me because I was a great lover. She married
didn't know
married
that.
me for laughs.
And God,
I got more laughs in bed than I did when I played Las Vegas.
when,
You know, it's amazing about my career is a good career. You know, for instance, I'm making another movie, Sergeant Pepper and this Lonely Hearts Club Band.
yeah.
I'm going into that with Frampton, Peter Frampton, is that his name? And the you're going to holler again, the Bee Gees.
Yeah.
And I think that picture will do well because they'll draw their crowd and I'll draw the young kids.
Did you teach John you can carry a gun?
No.
You can teach it to Carl and me, and if you want to join in.
All right,
It's a very difficult part.
For she can carry a gun good as any mother's son. For she can carry a gun good as any mother's son. Just sing that.
She can carry a gun
good as any mother's son. For she can carry a gun. She can carry a gun good as any mother's son.
She can carry a gun good as any mother's son.
For she can carry a gun good as any mother's son. For she can carry. Okay. For she. Let's take it. For she can carry. No. For she can carry a gun good as any mother's son. Okay. For she can carry a gun. Let's take it again. For she. No. For she can carry. That's it.
They tell me you have to go.
I do, yes.
I was hoping I could get you to bring your security blanket out, but you...
Well,
You have your choice. You want to hear me sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, or we can prevail upon him to sing something better. They don't want to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Right afterward. I'll give you a big chance. I'll direct you.
Okay, I'll sing Twinkle after this.
I'm in the process of recording a new album, and that's where I've been this morning, is at the recording studio, and where I have to go, so I appreciate you letting me do that. Would you like to hear a new song?
Oh, I'd love it.
This is one that I wrote, as a matter of fact, while we were filming Oh God. It's called How Can I Leave You Again? I hope I can hit the high notes. In a spaceship over the mountains, chasing rainbows in the setting sun, leaving heart and home for the city of angels. I feel my life is undone. There are pathways winding below me. In pleasure, I've gone where they go. In their quiet stillness, I can hear symphonies, the loveliest music I know. How can I leave you again? I must be clear out of my mind. Lost in a storm, I've gone blind. Oh, how can I leave you again? Oh, it's been a long time since I've listened. Still longer since I've walked with you. For the first time I know what I'm missing. Some answers are no longer true. So I question the course that I follow. I'm doubtful, deep in despair. My heart is filled with impossible notions. Can it be you no longer care? Still I ride on the wings of the high wind, blowing steady and strong behind me. As the clouds surrender, my fate is for certain. I'm a sailor who runs to the sea. But how can I leave you again? I must be clear out of my mind. Lost in a storm, I've gone blind. Oh, how can I leave you again? How can I leave you again? I must be clear out of my mind. Lost in a storm, I've gone blind. Oh, how can I